Loved working with him back in the day at ESPN. He's a 3-time Manager of the Year. He is Buck Showalter. How are you, sir?
Rich Eisen, how we looking?
We're looking good. We're looking good, Buck.
You tell us.
You tell us.
Every time I watch a post-game show anywhere,
Yes.
I think about you and I sitting on a set at Yankee Stadium after everybody's left. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. It's freezing. Yeah. And we look at each other and go, really? And we actually get paid for this.
I know. And we were the ones who, this is the 2001 World Series. We're the ones who I think we had to get on a plane. We missed game 2 so we could be there for game 3 of that World Series, which was particularly moving because obviously that was the game 3 where George Bush threw out the first pitch and the stadium was just absolutely abuzz with so much more than just baseball. I'll never forget hanging with you, Buck, at that World Series.
Yeah, life was simple. That's when I knew, you know what, I'll probably need to go back on the field.
Well, you know what? That's what I'm wondering. Are you in the middle of some of these conversations between teams looking for managers right now?
A little bit. Nothing that. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about it publicly like a lot of people seem to be comfortable with. But I have a lot of respect. It really bothers me too, Rich, is when people are talking about jobs that people currently have.
Right.
I think it's very disrespectful. Obviously, there's some jobs open, and I wish there weren't. I don't want anybody to lose their job. It's painful, and I just, I want our game to be better. I want it to learn from some of the challenges we're going through, and whatever capacity, whether it's TV or doing the Rich Eisen show, you try to be a part of that as we go forward.
Well, I mean, in terms of those jobs that are open, Buck, I it's not telling any tales out of school that the teams are obviously very good, that they are ready to win. One was 1 win shy of winning, but the jobs are important, certainly the one in Houston, because whoever takes it has got to change opinions of fans and has got to change maybe a culture in the building. And I'm wondering what you might bring to that equation.
Well, I remember I always try to think of things realistically, Rich, and not get caught up in a lot of the stuff out there as you do. And, I always felt like there was a lot of professional envy of the Astros. They won. They beat a lot of people, and we all question the things that we're not willing to do ourselves or may not understand. And, analytics are a big part of our game, but they're also something that's been around for a long time. Just depends on how you want to weight it. How do you want to, what do you want to use? We're all using basically some of the same measuring tools. Why did 14 teams finish under 500 last year? And I'm getting off your question, but I'm not. But, it's an honor to have your name out there, but it's also with a little bit of, at what price? I know I got a pretty good idea what has gone on and what, it's a very unique set of situations that are out there now that a lot of managers haven't walked through and haven't. I think about the things I've been through with Mr. Steinbrenner and the probation. Heck, I got thrown out of baseball for a couple of days for testifying in a Steve Howe inquisition, and went through the riots with nobody there in Baltimore and keep going. So, but this is unique. These are someone's going to have to really measure their words and understand the impact it has, and also try to, lead some guys through a situation that I think a lot of them don't really completely understand what's coming their way, and understand it's self-inflicted. So you're just going to have to wear some things.
Yeah, I mean, talking to players and what they're saying publicly, it just seems
not real good.
No, it isn't. And I'm wondering what the role of a manager is in that, because you got to find out what's gone on there and what the players did or may not have done, and then how can we button it up so you can start playing baseball, Buck.
Yeah, I'm a fan of AJ Hinch as a manager, and I've talked to AJ. He's it's a long story, but we all evolve and learn from things. But I think I got a pretty good idea what went on there and what happened and how it got to that point. But it's going to take a very constant message, and you're going to have to turn the cheek a lot. But at the end of the day, you are going to be able to control some things. Because at some point, as Mattingly used to say, they're going to play that song. They're going to play the anthem, and you have an opportunity to go out there and get back to remembering why you do what you do. And there's such a lure at that competitive level to try to get every edge. And Rich, it's kind of like the kid that comes out of the police academy and he has been taught the proper way to treat the public and read somebody their Miranda Act, and how to treat people with traffic stops. And all of a sudden they stick him with a bad veteran cop. And the veteran cop says, "I don't worry about any of that. I'll show you how to set up criminals. I'll show you how to get free coffee, whatever." And next thing you know, the guy thinks that's the way you're supposed to do it. And, so when managers and people are so protective of who they allow in a clubhouse and how they set that culture, that's why, because a lot of the young players, we were able to bring up Manny Machado and John Scope and all these young kids because we had J.J. Hardy. We had Adam Jones. We had Nick Markakis. We had Matt Wieters that were going to show them the right way to do things. Okay, I'm done. That was a rant.
No. But it's interesting what you were saying there, Buck. It's certainly in the fact that and again, here's the thing. I want you to get this job. If this is the job that you want, and I want you to get back on the field, I'm so partial to you. But I mean, when you say you did know maybe what was going on there, you had a sense of because you were in another clubhouse, there's lots of rumors, lots of innuendo, and that you're speaking to Hinch in a way. Is there anything you can share us?
Let me clarify that.
Sure.
I'm sorry. Let me clarify that.
Sure.
I've got a feeling what went on
right.
at the time. Everybody's you lose a pregame series, you get your brains beat out. We look from within. Then all of a sudden, someone's kind of going, "Well, something else going on." There's certain telltale signs when you see a guy throw 12 straight fastballs, and the first changeup he throws, the guy's right on it. You all look at each other as coaches. I mean, there's a checkpoint you go through. At least I do. Watch the first and third base coach, make sure nothing's going on there. I watch their catcher. He's setting up early, this and that, whatever. I watch on-deck hitters. I watch body language out of their dugout. You just do it. It's a habit because, you're not paranoid. You're alert to the things that have gone on through your career that you got to watch. We knew what Burley was throwing one day at Texas Stadium years ago because a boots on the ground advanced scout said something he was doing with his glove. We looked for it. A lot of things you can see from the dugout, but you can't see from the batter's box. So there's a lot of things that go on. But that was done by a human being, scouting, watching, said, look for this, it might be there, and it was there. And that's a whole different dynamic.
Buck Showalter here on the Rich Eisen Show. Okay, now let's move on then. You were Derek Jeter's first manager. You were the guy in the clubhouse when Jeter first came in. Was he wearing 2 at the time when he first walked in? Did they give him 2 right off the bat?
That's a great question. I know we sat in the clubhouse one day. I'll never forget. It was a day game. It was over. We were getting ready to call him up, and Nick Peoria, the clubhouse guy who took Pete Sheehy's place, has been there since Babe Ruth, and
right.
Dick Michael and I were sitting down and saying, what number are we going to give this guy? And we thought a lot of him when you get a single digit.
Yeah.
He might have had a go-between. That's a great question.
I just wonder. I think we're looking it up right now. I just thought maybe you would know that. But you heard, you were there when they were discussing, let's give him a single digit?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I said, I remember I told Stick, I said, listen, if it doesn't work out with this guy, we're going to be down at Dixie Highway anyway. It's going to be somebody else's problem getting him out of that jersey.
Well, it worked out. When was the first time you met?
My job.
Well, when would you first, I guess, lay eyes on Jeter? And was it obvious that he had single digit uniform worn?
Instruction league. Back when managers used to actually go to instruction league. Brian Butterfield, who's still coaching the big leagues now with Joe Madden,
right,
was with him in Greensboro. I think he made 50, 60 errors that year, and he was in instruction league. I said, Butter, what do you think? And he goes, it's going to be a big leaguer, impact shortstop for a long time. I go, really? He goes, yeah, he's got a little footwork issue we're going to fix here. And I saw him at 7:15 in the morning. I remember on field 76 with Brian Butterfield working on his footwork. But what was funny, later on, every once in a while between innings, Derek would look over at me in the dugout as a visiting manager and do that old habit with his feet, how he would, always drop step. When you had more time in high school, you could do that. But and just to tweak me, just to remind me that, I used to do this. So, coaching is important.
I love it. So, so then he came up, and do you obviously, the cup of coffee, how do you think that helped him get ready to be an AL Rookie of the Year the next year?
It was, we were, he said later, I thought was kind of cool. He said, heck, I thought that's where the Yankees were supposed to be every year that time.
Right.
And that atmosphere, and we had him and I think Jorge and Andy, I think Rivera we activated. I remember the grief we took for taking Rivera, but geez, if I'd known then what I know now, I would have used him.
What do you mean?
More different.
What do you mean the grief? What do you mean the grief that you took? What are you talking about?
No. He was a young, up-and-coming kid, and they didn't think he should be on the postseason roster, Rivera.
Right.
I remember there was a lot of talk about jumping the gun on him. We should have took a more veteran presence, but yeah, that's part of the gig. But watching their eyes light up during the game and during that whole September run, and I remember I told Derek and those guys, I called them out and said, "Listen, guys, if I hear you running the streets here in New York, you guys can go on down to the instructional league." Derek told me later, he said they didn't leave the hotel room for 3 weeks. They were scared to death to be sent back to instructional league.
Well, like I said, he obviously took all that to heart here, Buck Showalter on the Rich Eisen Show. What do you remember about Larry Walker? Tell me why you think he might be Hall of Fame worthy and that he's finally in now.
Larry Walker saw him hit twice, hit a ground ball single at the middle for a double in Coors Field because the center fielder had to play so deep. Great. That's what people miss. Great base runner. Not a good base runner. Great base runner. Mm-hmm. But Rich, okay, I got a good one on Larry Walker. So We're playing him in Utica, New York, the Oneonta Yankees versus a co-op team.
Okay.
One of the Brett brothers is managing it. He's on first base. He's a 17-year-old kid out of Canada. You can tell he's raw. Guy hits a long fly ball in left center field, and Corey Viltz runs it down. He goes 3/4 away, almost to third base, and now he's got to retrace his steps and go back to first. Rich, he ran right across the mound. Right across the mound.
No, he
cut right across the field, and he couldn't figure out what was wrong with that.
Come on.
That's my Larry Walker story, and every time I see Kenny Brett, I think it was Kenny. I tell that Larry. He tells that Larry Walker story. I said, "You were some coach." Larry couldn't understand. Wait a minute, the shortest line between 2 points.
Yeah.
But why wouldn't I take it?
Yeah, of course. Oh God! And now he's in Cooperstown. That's amazing.
Hall of Fame. God bless him. It should be. I thought Schilling might get in. I was hoping. Best pitcher I ever had, Rich.
Is that right?
All things considered, one game, Curt Schilling. And I had him when he was hurt. I never seen a guy locate a fastball like that. Curt had a game. How long could he pitch without throwing a breaking ball? But he had four fastballs because he could throw them to all 4 quadrants. And it was fun to watch him. Once he got that split, it was over. Boy, once he figured out how to throw a split, it was Katie bar the door.
So you're saying, Buck Showalter, out of your 24 years in managing, okay, that you're the best pitcher you ever had. If you had to win one game, you put Schilling on the mound.
Yep.
You didn't stutter. Why?
That's some good ones. Cone's right there. Cone's there. Randy Johnson. I was fortunate to have some good ones pass my way. But Schilling just, I don't know. Heck, flip a coin between all those guys.
No, I know that. I know that. But again, just what was he like game day? I mean, mentally.
Oh my gosh,
right?
He was. It was great for him. He was great for Randy. He'd pitch 8 innings of baseball, and Randy's pitching the next day. He'd walk by him in the dugout and go, "Hey, top that one, you big, tall, blankety, and walk up the dugout. And Randy's snorting. He's just rip-roaring. He was great for Randy. Okay, they fed off each other. And when we traded for him, he was hurt. And I remember Joe Garagiola and I talking back and forth. And he said, "Well, he's hurt." I said, "Joe, if he's healthy, we can't trade for him. He's not going to be available." And Joe was great with it. We pushed it through and got the deal done. And unfortunately, I wasn't there for the year when he was healthy.
I know that. Man, Buck, I remember you telling me the story. You basically helped design what was then the Bank One ballpark. You got the Diamondbacks off the ground.
Yeah, we got there. There was an interior fence there. And I said, guys, this is like 380, 390. I said, y'all didn't watch the spring training in Arizona. The ball kind of flies here. We got to give our guys somewhere a place to pitch to. I remember I came back from a Japan-Korea trip. I was trying to get Ichiro. Almost got thrown out of the country for that one. Back before he was Ichiro, but I come back and they said, "Hey, come look at the foul post." But they had put them in concrete, and the netting was in foul ground. We had to break all the concrete, spin the foul poles around. But it was cool watching that go up. You're getting old, Rich, when stadiums you remember as new are being torn down.
That's right. So I got to ask, what do you mean you almost got thrown out of the country for Ichiro? What are you talking about? What's that?
Oh, geez, I got him to take a picture in a Diamondback jersey. Listen, Hey, you talk Michael Jordan, you talk anybody you want to here.
Right.
Ichiro was bigger in Japan.
Right.
I've never seen anything like it. So I got him to take a picture in a Diamondback jersey. Word got out that they thought I was trying to steal him and take him back to the States and all that stuff, and it wasn't good. Let's just put it that way. Security had to be called to get through the airport. It was like taking the prize, idol out of the country, and that wasn't comfortable. I can tell you that. He and Matsui were so much better than everybody else. They were like light years better. Everybody thought they could just take another step down, but the level between Ichiro and Matsui to their next position player was a huge drop, like from big leagues to Double-A.
And the most talented player you ever had
Not anymore.
And the most talented player you ever had was Dion, right? Most talented?
Oh, gosh, coulda, woulda, coulda been. If he'd have been baseball all the way. People miss that this guy could throw. He had some pop. I mean, heck, he got in the cage about 3 years ago in Baltimore and hit 2 home runs.
Yeah. Oh, he's proud of that.
And guys who played with him baseball-wise, they were his favorite. He was their favorite teammate. He was a different guy in baseball. And I tell you a story. When he called him up to the big leagues, he was with me in Double-A, and they called me and said, "We want Dion to come up and pinch run, help this, whatever." So I called him. Dion ate the same thing every night: pork chops, baked beans, some kind of coleslaw. So I called to tell him, and he goes, his wife's girlfriend, I'm not sure, maybe fiance, picked up the phone. I said, "Hey, can I speak to Dion?" He said, "Well, he's eating right now, but yeah." So he gets on the phone. I go, "Dion, listen, they're going to call you. They want you to go up and this and that." He goes, "Fuck, it's toward the end of the season." He goes, "I really don't want to go to AAA. I love the guys here. We got a chance to win. Can I just finish the season out here? I love the apartment." I said, "Dion, we're talking about New York. What are you talking about Columbus?" He drops the phone. I hear him go, baby, come talk to Buck. Come. Lord help me. I tell you what, he dropped those pork chops and was out the door in about 2 hours.
Buck, you are the best, man.
That was fun. We kid about it.
You are the best. Thanks for the call. Let's chat soon, and hopefully whatever you wish to happen happens. You know that.
Hey, you know what? There's a lot of quality people out there, and they say, be careful what you wish for. You never know. But life's about challenges, right? Jobs that are open come with a lot of challenges.
Well, Buck, I hope you get the challenge, like I said, if that's what you wish. We'll chat soon, okay?
Well, not as much a challenge as it is talking to you today, but we'll get through it.
No,
God bless you, Rich. Thanks for having me.
You got straight through it. That's Buck Showalter, everybody.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.